Routines are a power tool. They are a perfect method for our modern life, which is completely drowning in madness of all kinds. And when I talk about routines here, this is not just about waking up at a certain time, going to sleep at a certain time, etc. But this is a routine about your day, about your week, and about various things that you do. This is about how many times you would go exercise in a week and you absolutely stick to that. This is about how many pages that you would read, what you would write. This is also about bringing complete predictability to your meal habits, to the way that you approach various things that you need to do, which are very important. It also includes things like how you dress and how you keep decisions very simple in life. Now, when I describe this, you must already be thinking that I'm talking about making life very boring and plain Jane. Well, maybe I am. The brain needs boring. While the brain wants a lot of novelty and freshness and newness and a lot of stimuli, but what the brain really needs to stay healthy is actually routines and a lot of boring, because our modern life brings so much of unpredictability and so much of chaos that if everything in life is all over the place, then that madness is really going to drain our brains. And you know this, how tired, fatigued, challenged, foggy, and unable to make decisions you feel in your life because of all the pressures that you experience. So I'll come back to say this, that routines are a power tool. So here is what you need to do with your routines. Put down your day, your week, and your month, and design very clearly for yourselves. If you have to exercise 4 to 5 times a week, what time you will go out to do that, what kind of meals you will eat, what kind of clothes you will wear, when would you get out to work, when will you stop working, when will you have your reading time, your time to listen to podcasts or writing time, or when will you go meet your friends, what are the times that you will spend with your loved ones, with your doing something which is alone time, and also time for your spiritual and other pursuits like hobbies. And then fit in your work schedules very clearly into that, so that you have an enriching life. Maybe this will make everything a little boring, maybe it will make everything a little busy, but it will be a great time management that you will create for yourself. Now, with that, let me encourage you to understand very deeply why I say routines are such a power tool. The first very important reason for this is routines create a lot of energy conservation for the brain. And you heard it right. Because you have put things into a routine, and all the important things, all the big rocks of your life, because you have put that and tied that to a routine and you adhere to it 90-95% of times or the above, you will reduce the decision fatigue that you have in life. Your cognitive load will come down significantly. So you don't have to decide, now what do I do? Now what do I do? Now what do I do? You put yourself into a clockwork. You create a routine and you perfect it over 3 to 6 months. And if you have some challenges, you deal with those challenges of your routine, but you keep coming back to your routine for 3 to 6 months. Your brain, your body, your entire life will fall into a beautiful routine. And if you encourage your family also to do this, and obviously you need the support of your family, your children, your spouse, your parents, if you encourage everybody to fit into a routine and not violate the routine, then you will have very clear energies, and the decision fatigue coming down, the cognitive effort coming down, will leave a lot more space for you for creativity, for being strategic and creating strategies in life. It'll help you emotionally regulate much better in your life. And think about how much of calmness this will bring for you. So remember, if you want to conserve your energy, this is where you need to go. You need to create routines and stick to them for 3 to 6 months so that they become your second nature. Now, the second important thing that this does for us, the moment your energy is conserved, the moment you are relaxed in life, the moment you have time and space to even handle the exigencies of your life, what will happen? You will automatically experience stress reduction. And as stress reduction happens, there is a reduction of cortisol, the stress related chemical in your body. That is going to be one of the biggest health gifts that you give yourself, because cortisols have been known to create so many problems like bad immunity, bad moods and mood swings, sleep quality going down, your body having various aches and pains at different points in time, stiffness, vision issues, brain fog. All of these things come from cortisol. Because your cortisol levels are going down, what you will also experience is that you have a better handle of life. So combined with the first point where you're saving a lot of energy, you will now find your life being a lot more predictable and comfort oriented. And as that comfort and prediction is going up, the cortisol levels will keep going down. And as that happens, the amount of energy and capability that you have to handle any demands, like a last minute work that comes your way, or some exigency happening in the family, etc., you will have so much of mental strength to handle that they won't feel like stress anymore. 3 to 6 months, that's the time it takes to settle these things down. Remember this. It's not going to happen just from tomorrow or day after, but about 3 to 6 months, you will feel these changes. The third thing that this does, and see, it's a ripple effect. So you created routine and you reduce the load on your brain, the stress goes down in your life, and now you are also following the routine for 3 to 6 months. And as every time you do this, and even within those 3 to 6 months, every time you stick to your routine, the completion of that task itself becomes a reward and a motivation. And every time we complete a task, the reward and motivation that we receive is not just the sense of achievement, but also the dopamines kicking in the body. Brain releases dopamine the moment it realizes that, yes, finally I have achieved a milestone. And that dopamine, that sense of reward and motivation is a great ripple effect into the rest of the life that you have, because it starts giving you a lot of task motivation. So when you are able to do a few things well, you also get the energy to do other things well. And wonder what's happening is your intrinsic motivation is going up, your engagement levels are going up, your willpower is going up. And you heard it right, your engagement levels are going up. Nobody needs to engage you. All this theory that my boss needs to appreciate me, that happened, that needs to happen, this reward needs to happen, etc., is only very partial. The true engagement, the true appreciation that comes is from your own energy, and that comes from your routine and task completion. When you are able to go from one thing to another and have intrinsic motivation, that's when you will feel rejuvenated and engaged, not when somebody outside appreciates you or you get an excellent reward or something. All external motivations are short-lived. From a few seconds to a few hours to maybe a couple of days, it all vanishes. The reward in terms of money, recognition, appreciation, everything vanishes. Only the intrinsic motivation stays, and that intrinsic motivation is only going to come from task motivation and achievement of what you do, which is you and only you, nobody else. So don't get stuck in fake theories of engagement from outside. Keep yourself motivated by being in a routine and by completing your things in time with excellence. When the reward comes, enjoy it. Yes, we need a little bit of reinforcement once in a while, but that's less than 1 or 2% of what is really motivation. The rest of it is intrinsic motivation. The next benefit that this brings us, and is because you have now a lot more of mental energy, you're having much lesser stress, your task completion rate is much high. What you are also achieving is a lot of mental resilience. Why? Because sticking to a routine takes mental strength. Coming back to your routine when something goes off track requires mental strength. Something goes off track and you take a little bit more time to finish it, then covering up takes mental strength. So every time you show up and you show up again and again and again, you are adding a little quota of mental strength to yourself. Your existence, your body, your mind, your cellular memory is remembering that mental strength that you're showing. And along with that mental strength, many times in activities, we also have physical strength that shows up. That cellular memory of mental strength and physical strength that comes up creates a lot of resilience, mental, physical, and eventually emotional resilience. And this is a very reinforcing concept of life, because as we start feeling that we are mentally, physically, and emotionally strong, our self-concept goes up. Our idea of who we are, how we are dealing with our life goes up. When we say well, whatever comes my way, I will be able to handle it. That comes over a period of time. If it is true sense, it's not those, just the affirmations that we're doing, but truly when we are able to do this, that's coming from all your brain and your routine and you sticking and showing up in life again and again. So that's the fourth big benefit that I wanted to leave with you. And the next thing that you have to remember is that in this process, a concept called neuroplasticity is also further acting in your brain. Now, what is neuroplasticity? It has been popularized by many scientists that the brain is the only organ that grows right till the moment that we are alive, till the last moment that we are alive. So the brain has the capability to expand, to grow, to add neurons. So as you put yourself into routines and your creativity goes up, your mental energy goes up, you are able to handle exigencies, you show up again and again, you stick to a routine. What's happening is the relaxed brain is a learning brain and the repeating brain is a growing brain. Either which way your brain is growing, because when the brain is a lot more relaxed because of routines, you will learn new things. And when you learn, your brain expands. And when you stick to the routine, you are repeating things over and over again. That way also the connections of the brain are getting better and you are growing. It is said by neuroscientists that neurons that fire together wire together. So the more your neurons fire, the stronger they become and the stronger they develop associated circuitry. So if you stick to your routines for 6 to 8 months, or rather 3 to 6 months, and it becomes a part of you, you are for sure growing your brain unknowingly, but in your best interest. The sixth and a wonderful reason also is, and especially in today's world, when you work with routines, when your life is a lot more easy and predictable and all of these benefits are coming your way, you will also find yourself naturally a lot more emotionally regulated. Because of your routines, you are able to handle exigencies much better, and because of being able to do both of these things and then come back to the routine, your frustrations of life will go down. You will be able to get done most of the important things that you need to do in very good ways. As frustration comes down, your ability to respond to challenges will again keep going up. And as a result, your time management is getting better. Your frustration tolerance is getting better because your frustration response is much better. Your exigency response is much better. So you see, you are growing with that routine. Your ability to solve things, your ability to be empathetic, your ability to make decisions, your ability to be patient is going to go up significantly. But like I said, it takes about 3 to 6 months to stay on your routines. So again, I will remind you of this. When I talk about routine, this means definitely going to sleep at almost the same time, waking up at the same time. And remember, waking up at the same time is very important because your sleep cycle is determined by how your body adjusts to your sleep cycle. So if you wake up at 6 every day or 5 every day, then your body knows that I need to finish all my sleep routine and repairing very well. So even if your sleep time when you go to sleep shifts a little bit in a half an hour, 1 hour span, but if your wake up time is steady, then your body will be repaired much better, your emotions will be cleansed much better. That's what the brain does. So routine definitely means going to sleep and waking up on time, eating similar food, wearing similar clothes, making similar decisions, and your life and the important things like exercise, reading, writing, spending time with loved ones, fun time, your work schedules, all of them are very predictable and very structured. The brain wants variety, but the brain needs boring, like I said, to stay healthy. That's what designing a routine essentially means. All of this routine will add up to success, health, joy, and peace in your life. Because when we are following a structure and when we are relaxed and focused, all of these elements tend to go up. So routines have far more utility than you actually thought. It's not just about time management, it's literally about being a champion and succeeding in life. It is about excellence. Routines is equal to excellence.